Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's new English language learning program. Let's speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. Okay, here we are, back in the studio, ready for another English lesson. Magic. How are you feeling today? Good? Good. Now, do you remember our last lesson? No. No? What do you mean, no, great goose liver? Well, let's think about our last lesson together. Last lesson, we looked at the present simple tense and we learned a new English tense, the present continuous tense. Do you remember now? Ah, good. So today, we're going to look at the present continuous tense again. Now, what do we know about the present continuous tense? When do we use it? Good, it's all coming back. We use the present continuous tense to talk about things which are happening now. We use this tense to tell people what is happening now. All right. So, we know when we use the present continuous. I'm talking to you. That's the present continuous. You're watching M5. That's the present continuous. We're learning English. That's the present continuous. And we're using this tense because we're talking about what is happening now. Brilliant, superb, magnifico. Now, how do we make the present continuous tense? Do you remember? Yes, that's right. We use the verb to be and then the ing form of a verb. So, if it's wet outside, I say it's raining. When is it raining? Now. I can see that the street is wet. I can see rain falling from the sky. I can feel the rain on my face. My feet are wet. I know that it's raining now, so I use the present continuous tense. So, let's look at the structure of the present continuous again. What do we need to start with? That's right, we need the verb to be. Do you remember the form of the verb to be? You don't? Why not? Okay, let me remind you. The verb to be is this. I am. You are. He, she, it is. We are. You are. And they are. So, that's the verb to be. We have to be careful with two things. The first person singular and the third person singular. With I and with he, she and it. Because these forms are different. With all the other personal pronouns, the form is the same. It's are. You are, we are, they are. With the first person singular, I, the form is what? Correct. With the first person singular, with I, the form of the verb to be is I am. What about the short form? Well, the short form is I'm. All right. And what about the third person singular form? Well, the third person singular form for the verb to be is he is, she is, it is. The short form is he's, she's, and it's. So, we know we have to be careful with these two personal pronouns when we use the verb to be. We have to be careful with I and he, she, and it. The other personal pronouns are the same when we use the verb to be. All the other forms are. You are, we are, they are. Simple. All right, now, where were we? Ah, yes, I remember. We're learning the present continuous tense. Okay, we know that we use the verb to be and then we add the ing form of another verb. But there's something else we need to pay attention to, isn't there? Yes, we have to pay attention to the spelling of the ing form of the verb. Do you remember? Now, so far we've learned lots of different rules for spelling in English, haven't we? The first set of rules we learned was connected to changing nouns from singular into plural. Remember? When we change nouns from singular into plural, what do we normally add? That's right. We normally turn singular nouns into plural nouns by adding s. This is group 1. A bird, but 26 birds. A manatee, but 5 manatees. A squirrel on a skateboard, but 4 squirrels on 4 skateboards. Now, we also know that spelling in English isn't always that easy. Most nouns change from singular to plural by adding an s. But if the noun ends in s or sh or ch or x, then that's group 2. With nouns in group 2, we change from singular to plural by adding es. 1 boss, but 2 bosses. 1 fish, but 4 fishes. 1 watch, but 5 watches. 1 box, but 3 boxes. And don't forget, we also change potato and tomato from singular into plural by adding es. 1 potato, but 6 potatoes. 1 tomato, but 5 tomatoes. Great. Well, that's 2 groups. We also learned about group 3. Group 3 are nouns which end in y. Do you remember what a vowel is? That's right. Vowels are A, E, I, O and U. If the noun ends in vowel plus y, we change the noun from singular to plural by adding s. 1 boy, but 4 boys. 1 monkey, but 3 monkeys. Now, we know which letters are vowels, but what about the other group of letters in the alphabet? What about the consonants? Which letters are the consonants? That's right, the consonants are B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y and Z. If the noun ends in consonant plus y, we change the noun from singular to plural by replacing the y with ies. 1 family, but 2 families. 1 puppy, but 5 puppies. Then we have group 4. Nouns in group 4 are nouns which end in f or fe. We change these nouns from singular to plural by replacing the f or fe with ves. 1 wife, but 6 wives. 1 knife, but 2 knives. Finally, there's group 5. Group 5 is irregular. There is no logic here. With nouns in group 5, we have to learn and remember them. 1 child, but 3 children. 1 woman, but 5 women. 1 man, but 5 men. 1 goose, but 4 geese. 1 tooth, but 4 teeth. 1 foot, but 3 feet. And my favourite, 1 sheep, but 12 sheep. Right, so we know about the spelling rules for nouns changing from singular to plural. What other spelling rules do we know? Well, what about the rules connected to the present simple tense? Do you remember? That's right. With the present simple tense, the third person singular, he, she, it, has a spelling change. With most verbs, we add s to the third person singular form in the present simple. I eat, you eat, but he eats. I sleep, you sleep, but she sleeps. Right. Well, we know how to change the spelling for the third person singular in the present simple tense. So, now we come back to the present continuous. We learned that we make the present continuous with the verb to be and the ing form of a verb. We know that we have to be careful with the first person singular and third person singular forms of the verb to be. They're different. I am or I'm. He is or he's. She is or she's. And it is or it's. Okay, the rest of the verb to be is easy. You are, we are, they are. Simple Simon meta pieman. Easy. Now, what about the spelling of the ing verb form? Now, when we want to make the ing form of a verb, what do we have to be careful about? The first thing we have to be careful about is if the verb ends in e. If the verb ends in an e, like, for example, make, or drive, or bake, then we remove the e before we add ing. It's not making, it's making. It's not driving, it's driving. And it's not baking, it's baking. Okay, so we know the first area where we have to be careful. If the verb ends in e, we remove the e before adding ing. Good. Now, are there any other places we have to be careful? Yes, there's another rule we need to remember. If the verb ends in ie, then we replace the ie with ying. The baby's not lying on the bed, it's lying on the bed. The tree is not dying, it's dying. And what's the third rule we have to remember? That's right. If the verb ends in vowel plus consonant, the last letter is doubled. You're sitting down. He's swimming. We're running. Right. Well, now let's look at the pictures and decide what the people are doing. He's cooking. She's watching TV. They're playing football. They're playing basketball. They're eating. She's studying. It's sleeping. She's dancing. He's riding a motorbike. She's driving. They're swimming. They're watching a film. He's singing. She's playing the guitar. They're flying. Great. Fab. Terrific. So, now we know when to use the present continuous and how to make a sentence with the present continuous. Fantastic. Well, that's all we have time for today. I had fun today. I hope you had fun too. I'll see you next lesson for more English language fun on M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan. I'm not Napoleon. See you next lesson. See you later. Bye.